If you haven't seen it yet, there's been a clip going around, going viral, I guess, of Carmel Moulton getting asked his opinion about who he thinks is the best fighter at 135 pounds and who will be the last one standing between Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, and Gervonta Davis. And this is what he had to say.
Ask you, out of Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, Gervonta Davis, who is it that you think is going to come out on top out of that whole mix?
It's hard to say. All them guys are really skilled. I feel like as of right now, the best out of them three, I'd have to say it's between Tank and Shakur. I feel like Shakur said at the end, it's gonna be them two. They gonna run through everybody else, and it's gonna be them two at the end. So I feel like that's how it's gonna go. And yeah, it's great.
Now, outside of the internet, this is pretty much the consensus opinion. You know, on YouTube or on Twitter, all you'll hear is from the fans is that Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson just outbox Tank, and that they'll both beat Tank. But whenever you hear from fighters and most trainers, when they get asked the same question, it's pretty much the same answer every time. It's that Tank and Shakur will be the last two standing. Whether you asking Errol Spence, whether you're asking Terrence Crawford, whether you asking Shakur himself, whether you're asking Adrian Broner, the answer is pretty much the same every time. That Tank and Shakur are the two best. And since I've been watching each of these fighters, this has been my opinion as well. In my opinion, and just from what I see, Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis are just better fighters than Devin Haney. I could be wrong. When they fight, he could prove us wrong. But as far as now, in my opinion, that's just what it is. But for whatever reason, when you have this opinion, somehow you get labeled a hater. Devin Haney and his fans get emotionally charged up, and now we are haters. And Devin Haney saw this clip from Carmel Moulton, and he responded. Devin tweeted, "Numbers don't lie. Who better than who is opinionated. I'm fighting the best opposition out of these guys," which is a direct contradiction of what he just said. He said, who better than who is opinionated. Then directly after saying that, he said his opponents are better than their opponents. So that's a direct contradiction right there, but whatever. And probably surprisingly to y'all Devin Haney fans that think I'm just this Devin Haney hater, I agree with him. The real boxing fans that don't get emotional about their favorite fighters, no, I just call it off my opinion and how I see it. But y'all Devin Haney fans think I'm just this Devin Haney hater, which I'm not. I'm just calling it how I see it. And in this case, I agree with Devin, at least to a certain extent. You know, some people might say that Gervonta Davis, since he's beaten the most world champions, that he has the best resume. I somewhat agree with that as well. I think Tank's resume is the deepest. As a total body of work, I think Tank's is the deepest. Because he's beaten 8 world champions, then he's beaten top contenders, and guys like Pitbull Cruz, who's ranked top 5 at 135 pounds, and guys like Mario Barrios, who was ranked top 7 at 140 pounds when Tank fought him, and after moving up to 147 pounds, went 12 rounds with Keith Thurman, and then just recently had a very dominating victory over Yordenis Ugas. And in his last fight, he just dominated Ryan Garcia, who was ranked top 5 at 140 pounds by ESPN when Tank fought him. Regardless of how you feel about Ryan Garcia personally, what he does outside the ring, inside the ring, you can't deny the fact that nobody made Luke Campbell or Javier Fortuna look as bad as Ryan Garcia did. Ryan Garcia dominated Luke Campbell and Javier Fortuna worse than anybody else we ever seen them in the ring with. And you got to give him some kind of credit for that. So I think as a complete body of work, that Tank's is the deepest. But as far as names and big names, since Devin Haney beat Lomachenko, you got to give it to Devin Haney. Lomachenko is a bigger name than anybody on Tank's or Shakur's resumes. And all credit to Devin, he's following that up by going into a fight with another big name and Regis Prograis. So when you compare that to Shakur's and Tank's, you got to give it to Devin. He's fought the two best opponents. But what I will say is that even after he beats Regis, because I think he'll beat Regis, I think he's going to wash him. I could be wrong. You know, I love that y'all call me this Devin Haney hater, but I gave him more credit going into the Lomachenko fight than some of y'all did. I thought he was going to wash the shit out of Lomachenko. After we saw what Teofimo did to him, Teofimo dominated damn near every round against Lomachenko by boxing him and keeping him on his back foot. You know, the narrative is that Lomachenko came back and won the second half of the fight and almost won. That's cap. I just watched that fight not too long ago again. Lomachenko might have won 3 rounds. I don't know why people remember it as Lomachenko came back in the second half and almost won. But if you go back and watch that fight, that is not what happened. He only had 1 real round where he really got off some shit. And then the other 2 were pick'em rounds that I just decided to give him just because. So I thought if Teofimo outboxed Lomachenko like that Devin was just going to wash him. And that's not what happened. A lot of people think Lomachenko won that fight. And Teofimo also beat Josh Chandler, who already beat Regis Prograis. So at the end of it all, the one who really fought the best and has the best resume so far, we had to give it to Teofimo Lopez. He fought the 2 big names, Lomachenko and Josh Chandler, and out the rest of them, his is most comparable to Tank's as a complete body of work, with his wins over Sandor Martin, who people thought Teofimo lost that fight, and his win over Richard Comey. I was never big on giving guys credit over wins over Richard Comey and Nakatani and guys like that, just because I'm a Gervonta Davis fan, and I know he would never get credit for wins over guys like that. So that's why really I'm going off the biggest names. And when you look at the biggest names, it is Josh Chandler, Lomachenko, and for Devin, Lomachenko and Regis Prograis. But that's what I got for y'all. I'm out.